Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. It is great to meet you. My name is Kelly and I love to do all things home related, whether it's cooking, cleaning, decor, organizing, all the things. And if you enjoy these type of videos, I would love it if you would pause this video right now and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any further videos. So today I'm going to be working on my front porch for Christmas. It was rather warm outside and I thought it would be a great idea to get my garland up and my lights before the snow starts to fly or it gets too cold. So this is really a part one. I want to show you how I put together my garland on my front porch and just get things prepped. So let's get into today's video.
Dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming. I know that Santa Claus is coming. Oh.
So after getting everything outside and on the porch ready to go, I typically start by setting the mood by putting up my front door wreath. I think I've said this in all my porch decorates. It just kind of sets me in the mood, and Christmas time is no different. I love this wreath. I made it a few years ago, and I don't glue anything in typically because I do change my mind from year after year, but I have loved this, the way this wreath has looked. So it has stayed, I think this is about the third year, and I just think it's so pretty and so sweet. So that's what I do, is I start on my front door. Now I'm just moving on to this window here at the front of the house, and I just put up another wreath. I used to have lights on this, but I have since taken it off, and I just keep it fairly simple, green with a red bow. You will see throughout my Christmas decorating series that I am really a traditional Christmas color girl. I love the reds and the greens and the golds. So that is typically what I use, and the outside is no different. I love my red bows on the outside of my house.
Dinosaurs, boats, and kitty cats too. Santa Claus is coming.
Now over on this window here, I have a very large wreath that I have had. I cannot even tell you how many years I've had it. So I do have 2 command hooks on this window so that I can hook up this wreath, and you can probably see there that I do have lights on it. I love this wreath. It's a real statement piece. And again, I don't glue anything in because I tend to change what the bow looks like on this. Sometimes I'll add things in, take them away. And this year I'm keeping it fairly simple with just a bow and the lights on it. Now I'm going to work on my garland over my porch, and this is a real process that goes on each year. So typically what I do when I put away the garland the year before is I will make sure that the end that I plug in, which goes at the far end of my porch, if this is making any sense to you, I usually make sure that end that gets plugged in is on top. That way it's easy to just pull it out, and then I simply drag it along the porch so that I make sure I get it all the way across, so I can start looping it onto hooks that I have up on my pillars. You'll see what I mean in just a second. But a tip for you is to do all the prep work on your garland inside before taking it outside. I did all this in my basement. I checked the lights, made sure they all worked and were evenly distributed, and then added the ribbon before going outside to place on my porch. Better view of what I was talking about, I just lay it out down the porch so that I make sure that it reaches from end to end. This doesn't allow for any draping, but that will come into play in just a second. But now I am ready to start looping it up on some of the command hooks that are on the pillars.
How much fun it's gonna be together.
So this is how I do it. I just reach through. It's kind of awkward, but I've done this for so many years. I kind of know where these hooks are, and I just start putting it on the command hooks, and then I will make any adjustments once it's all up. It's really heavy at this point, so I do have my husband helping and holding up some of it at some point, just because it tends to really pull, and I don't want it to pull down the command hooks off of the pillars. But I've done this for so many years that I kind of know where they are and how much draping I need. But this particular year, it kind of got the better of me, especially in this section. So I do have to do a few adjustments here and there.
Come on, I need to hear you now.
Jingle, jingle, jingle with me now.
I got my love to keep me warm.
So this area here, I have no idea why we have never put up a command hook here. No idea why, but that will change after this year. Next year there will be a command hook going up. There's just a nail right now, and it is really awkward to get there. And you can see at the front pillar that the garland got caught. I hadn't realized that, so I have to make the adjustments again because it just was not looking right. But over here, this is above our garage, and I do put up another wreath here, and I just loop it over the light switch. But we have taken out the glass out of this light because there is a socket in this, and I can plug the lights right into this. So when we turn on our outdoor lights at night, the wreath will actually light up. So it's very, very convenient. So there's no need for any extension cords at all. Now, because we do get some really heavy winds during the winter season, during the Christmas season, I do also secure the garland with some twine. I just tie it around it and secure it at the back, and that seems to help hold it as well as the command hooks. And then I decided I needed some more red bows on the front. I liked the red ribbon. This is something new I've added this year, but I decided that it also needed some bows on each of the pillars. So I am just going through and adding those on as well. I wanted to change things up a little bit this year, and I've always wanted to do this, and I wanted to add some wreaths to our upstairs windows. So we got some more wreaths, and my husband is helping me here. This was a comedy of errors. This was about our 10th time trying to hook this wreath onto this window. So what I have is a command hook on the frame of the window, but then when we put the wreath on, we forgot that to close the window, we need to get the wreath out of the way. So after many up and down attempts at this, running down to pick up the wreath that had fallen because we pushed it too hard and it hit the ground, my husband finally got it to work. And then on the bottom of the wreath, we have some fishing line. So we're going to hook that to the inside. And he noticed that the wreath, good eye on him, he noticed that the wreath was a little crooked, so he opened the window a little bit and pulled on the fishing line and then closed the window, and it straightened it up right away. And then he just put the screen back on to hold it in place, and it's so secure now. But it was too funny watching, if the neighbors saw us in the upstairs windows, how many times these wreaths fell off. It was too funny. And then he just tied off the fishing line onto the lock mechanism on the inside of the window, just to make sure it was extra secure. So he's an engineer, and he figured this out for me, and I am so grateful for it, because I've actually wanted to add wreaths up here forever.
I have nothing but love for you. You can trust that to be true. Yeah, I wish you the merriest Christmas.
And here's a quick look at how everything has come together so far. Like I mentioned, this is part 1 because I do have more I want to add to the porch, but the hardest part is done, just getting the garland and the wreaths up. That's always the part that takes the longest. I hope you enjoyed this video and it gave you some inspiration to tackle your front porch. This Christmas season, I still have a bit more to do out here and I'm really looking forward to it. One of my favorite things to do is to fill this planter with lots of Christmas greenery out here, and I want to do something on my lamppost. I want to make it look like an old-fashioned lantern. I think that'll look so nice. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great week.
Trust that to be true. Yeah. The